During this video, we're going to solve word problems for ratios using the step-by-step process of QUISWA. So we'll begin QUISWA. We'll begin with explaining QUISWA first, and then we'll apply it to a word problem that's based on our ratio unit. QUISWA. The QUISWA is an acronym for the steps you will take to solve a word problem. The QU means read the question twice. Just like when we view movies for the second time or read books, we pick up on details we might not have noticed the first time viewing it or reading it. So it's important for us to read the questions twice before beginning to solve. Secondly, we're going to underline and rewrite our important information. The S is solve using a strategy. Now we have several strategies listed in our math notebook, but I picked the most popular ones. So solve using a strategy means that you can choose from number sentence, patterns, chart table, draw a picture, visualization, or applying vocabulary to the word problem to help you solve it. And the W is for showing your work, which the S and the W are very important and kind of could be combined together. And lastly, the A is for always double check your answer. That's when you go through each step and make sure that you didn't make any careless mistakes. It also has to do with asking yourself, does that make sense? Is my answer logical? So let's go ahead and apply QUISWA to our word problem that's based on ratios. I'm going to read the question twice. An ice cream factory can make 330 quarts in 2 hours. How many quarts could be made in 16 hours? Now I'm going to read the question for the second time, and I'm going to underline important information as I do so. An ice cream factory can make 330 quarts in 2 hours. How many quarts could be made in 16 hours? Since I underlined my important information, now I'm going to rewrite it. And I'm going to set it up like proportions or equivalent ratios. First, I'm going to put my 330, and that's quarts, to my 2 hours. Then I'm going to do my equal sign and my ratio bar. At this point, we have to decide where the 16 hours should go. So you have to keep the units of measurement across from each other. We're not talking about quarts with the 16, we're talking about hours. So it'll go directly across from the 2 hours we already have placed on our proportion or equivalent ratio setup. Here we're going to put an N. The N is our variable. And remember, children, a variable is a letter or symbol that represents an unknown number. To solve for this, we are going to cross multiply. 330 times 16 is 5,280. Then we're going to multiply 2 times n. Really, Jaden? 2 times n is 2n. Now we have an equation and we're going to have to use the 2i rules to solve. So we need to isolate the variable by using the inverse operation. We know that there's multiplication here, so we are going to divide, that's the inverse operation, and what we do to one side we have to do to the other. And these 2's cancel out. We have our n left over. Now we have to divide 5,280 by 2 to find what n would equal. Let's get our handy dandy calculator. And n equals 2,640. So, let's go back to QUISWA and review the steps that we've already shown. We've read the question twice. We underlined and we rewrote the important information. We solved using a strategy. The strategy we used could be an equation which goes along with a number sentence. We also had to visualize and look for the relationships between these numbers. We did show our work, and I'm going to simply double check that my answer makes sense. 330 times 16. And my answer does make sense. After I looked through each step to make sure that I was double checking my work and double checking my answer. Another important part, children, is to make sure you include your unit of measurement. So how many quarts could be made in 16 hours? I need to make sure I label my answer with the unit of measurement, and that would be quarts. Let's try some examples together.